car because we had a separate set of keys in the car. But, of course, you need keys to open the door if you're going to get in to get the keys. Or, if you don't have keys, a big rock will do. So I found a big rock, and I smashed out the back window in the car and reached in and unlocked the door, and we got the separate set of keys. And so I learned never to go swimming with car keys in my pocket. Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
Tell me about an accomplishment in your life that you are proud of. What did you have to do to achieve that accomplishment?
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I think that I would say a great accomplishment for me is running the 10-miler. It's a 10-mile road race that happens here in Lynchburg every September. And I think your father ran it once or twice. Did you run it, Chad?
Yep.
Twice? Once?
Once.
Once, yeah. But anyway, I just didn't know. I started running when I was in high school, and I ran just for exercise a little bit when I was in college, and then when I was in the Air Force, we had to run sometimes, and I ran. And I got to where I kind of liked to run, but I never ran 10 miles. I ran 2 or 3 or 4 miles at the most. I never ran 10. That was a lot. So I decided one day I would like to try running the 10-miler. And actually, the first year I did it, I didn't really practice enough, and I did finish. I was really tired, and the next day I was really sore, and the next day I was even sore, and it felt horrible for several days actually. So I knew I had to train if I was going to keep running the 10-miler every year, because they do it every year in September, and it's a big deal. Thousands of people come and watch it. And so I really trained after that, and I've run it most years ever since. And that was it's a great accomplishment. It's an accomplishment I get to repeat every year. That's a great thing about it. It's just not a one-time deal. I did it again this year, and the year before, and the year before, and the year before, and the year before. And I trained hard and practiced hard and run long distances and all that kind of stuff. And I've got to the point now where I can run it and get a pretty decent time and don't get sore the next day either, because I really practice and work on it. So that's a great accomplishment, running the 10-miler.
Okay.
Okay?
Is there anything extra interesting that you want to share with me?
Extra interesting. Well, I've done so many interesting things. One interesting thing was one time I worked for the circus. Happened to be in Montana. You know where that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's out west. I was in Missoula, Montana, and I saw a sign for the Hubert Castle International Shrine Circus. And didn't have any money. Thought it'd be a good idea. This was when I was in college. I was probably 20 years old. And didn't have a job. And my friends and I, his name was Buff and I said, hey, let's join the circus. So we went down to the circus tent. It was set up, actually I didn't have a tent. It was in a big arena. And we went to the arena. We saw somebody who looked important and said, we're looking for work. Do you have any jobs available? And they said, sure. Here you go. And they gave us a pair of coveralls that said Hubert Castle International Shrine Circus on them. And they put us to work, and it was back-breaking work. It was horribly hard, big, heavy. We had to put the lion cage together and take the lion cage down and carry all the big, heavy boxes and props. And then you don't get to sleep because they have a horrible schedule. They would do like a show every day at a different place. And we went to Wyoming, and every night you try to sleep in the truck. You live in trucks, and we would just lay in the bed of a truck and try to sleep while this thing is bouncing along the highway. And then as soon as you get to the new location, whether you got any real sleep or not, you get up the next day and you start lifting these big, heavy sections of iron lion keys and big boxes and heavy pieces of equipment. And you get it set up, and then you have to stay awake. You can't get any sleep because the show starts. And people were really rough. I mean, they were mean, they were rough people. It was not very much fun. But they have a tradition. If they like you and they accept you, and they think you're a good worker, then they make you part of the act. But they don't tell you. They trick you into it. And so one day, after we set up the show started. The audience came in and they were doing all the trapeze acts and everything, and they had made some kind of a mess out in the middle of the arena, right out in the middle, all with hundreds of people around there watching. But they told me to go out there and clean this up. I can't remember what it was. They'd spilled something or broke something. And I thought it was kind of funny that I would do that in front of all the audience, because normally you do that after the show is over. But I went out there because I was told, and then the clowns came on. And the clowns were whacking each other with things, like clowns do. You ever seen a clown act?
Yeah.
Yeah, they all get in a little car, or they trip over each other, and they pretend to fight, and they do all sorts of silly things. Well, one of them picked up a bucket of water that had been sitting out there for the elephant or something, and he started chasing the other clown around the arena. And I was still out in the middle of all this, cleaning up this mess. And they deliberately, they engineered this chase so the fugitive clown that was running away from the clown with the bucket came right over to me and stood right in front of me and kind of made a face or something at the other clown and waited there for the clown to throw the water on him. But as soon as the clown with the water threw the water, he ducked. And I was standing right behind him, so I got doused with water. And the audience thought it was all part of the act. In fact, it was part of the act. I just didn't know I was part of the act. So I got soaked with a bucket of water, and the audience thought it was really funny. And I remember I ended the act by acting like I was really mad, and I knew it was part of the act. I figured it out. This was all a joke. But I chased the clown, the other clown, off the stage. I took off running, and he took off running like he acted really scared. He knew I wasn't going to hurt him, but I just played along with it at that point. That was pretty funny. But that was life with the circus. That was an interesting thing.
Okay.
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 All right.
Remember all this?
Yep. Thank you for all the information.
What's that?
Thank you for all the information.
Okay. Hope you get a good grade. Do a good job in writing. Write some good sentences about this.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'll see you later.
All right. Thanks, Dad.
Righto. Bye-bye.
Bye.